Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Narayanam Padmabhavam Vasishtam Shaktim cha Tatputra Parasharam cha Vyasam Shukam Gaudapadam Mahantam Govinda Yogindra-matasya Sishyam Sri Shankaracharya-matasya Padma Padam cha Hastamalakam cha Sishyam Tam todakam vartikakaramanyānasmadgurūn santatamanatosmi Shruti smriti puranānāmalayam karunalayam namami bhagavatpadam Shankaram lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krudau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mauno Vyakya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Vashishtante Vasat Rishiganehi Avritam Brahmanishtahi Acharyendram Karakalita Chinmudramanandarupam Swatmaramam Muditapadanam Dakshinamoorty Mide Vishwam Pashyati Karyakaranataya Swaswami Sambandhatah Shishyacharya-taya tadeva pitruputrathyatmana betatah Swapne jagrati vaya esha purusho maya paribhramitah Tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye namayidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. In this verse actually is the last verse, Dakshinamoorty Ashtakam. In this last verse, which complete the subject matter as such, the next two verses will be, last one, 10th one is Palashruti and 9th one is Upasana. The philosophical part is going to be complete in this verse itself. While thus Maya paribhramitaha Ishvaraha eva jivaha Saha Vishwam Pashyati Karyakaranataya ityadi. So, the individual self is none other than the Ishvaraha himself, and due to the self-forgetfulness, so to say, is the reason for an individual to see oneself as a limited personality, subject to the suffering through vasanas and prarabdha karma, also perceiving this world as cause and effect, past and present and future, nama rupa jagat. And this paribhramanam was explained in the verse 23 and 24 in the Manasollasa. Yata leela vashat kaschit brahmamanaha kumarakah brahmat tat pashyati jagat Shadachandram navastabadam namastalam Tata eva mayaya jivo brahmitah vasanavashat nanakaramidam vishvam brahmamanam cha pashyati. Nana akaramidam vishvam pashyati. Brahmamanam pashyati. Just like a child, when it is rotated in a swing or something, comes to see the world as though rotating with 100 moons as if on the sky. In the same way, Mayaya paribhramitaha jivaha vishvam pashyati nana akaramidam vishvam. So, here, continuing the Maya's presence in making us perceive the world so diversely. Next verse he says, Samsrajya manasa devaha samsaranniva lakshyate yadarko jala samsargat chalannaneva lakshyate. Manasa devaha samsrajya. This very word, as well as the individual, as such, the individual is none other than, as we have seen, Ishvara himself, the Lord himself. According to Advaita Vedanta, there is no external entity, independent entity called the God or Ishvara. The very word itself is Ishvarena Vyaptam, Maya Tadamidam Sarvam, as Bhagavan Krishna says. Jagat Avyakta Murtina. By me alone, the whole thing is pervaded. So, here, Samsaran iva lakshyate, as though he is a samsari, as though iva. Mayaya brahmyamanasya api jivasya na paramartataha brahmanah asti. Brahmanam asti iti etat drishtante samsrijya manasa iti. Devaha here to be understood as Atma. Atmanah nanatva pradibhasaha api anena drishtantena mithya iti upapaditaha iti darshayati. Even though we cannot deny the experience of plurality, but experience alone cannot be the proof for a reality also. What is experienced alone cannot be isolatedly understood as reality. Somebody says, sunrise and sunset I see, I experience every day, therefore sunrise and sunset take place, cannot be taken as real. So for a very long time, people have been thinking that sunrise is taking place, sunset is taking place, sun is going around the earth, etc. So until it is discovered that sun is not moving at all, it is the earth that is moving. So when that is recognized, experience continues. Experience doesn't stop. You still see the sunrise and sunset, but the experience is proved to be contrary to the reality. So as reported by your eyes and the mind alone cannot be considered as real. As even in the state of dream, everything is experienced. You are experiencing various things in your dream by your eyes, by the inner eyes, so to say, you are seeing, hearing, etc. Your mind is experiencing those activities and things there, joys and sorrows, until waking up. Upon waking up, even though experienced, you discount it. Manasa samsarjitah, samsrijya. Manasa samsrijya, creating in the mind itself. Swapnirtha shunye srajati swashaktya. In Kaivalya Upanishad it is said, Swapne artha shunye, at the time of dream when there is no external object at all. Srijati swashaktya, bhoktadi sarvam, mana eva sarvam. Bhoktadi vishwam, mana eva sarvam. Bhoktapi, the bhokta, bhogya, all of them, the individual enjoyer and what is enjoyed, sarvam, manasakritam, mana eva sarvam. So in the mind alone is the bhokta, the enjoyer, experiencer, and the mind alone is the experienced also. So manasa samsrijya, samsaraniva lakshate drishyate. And the example is given, yatha, just as arkaha, sun, jala samsargat, with the contact with the water, a running water. In a running water, the sun is not really in contact, the rays are reflected in that. So real contact doesn't take place with the water. But then when the reflection takes place, then in that reflection, which is chalan, when the water is moving and disturbed, nana iva lakshyate, it appears there are many different suns are there. Nana iva lakshyate iti. Drishtantena mitya iti upapadati. Upadaditaha chalanniva nana iva iti yojana. So this example only to show that even though reality there is only one sun, appears to be many suns there. In the same way, one should meditate in the deep contemplative state. One should think that, one should continue to remember that aham ekaha eva atma aham sadashivaha satchidananda rupaha aham jivaha na aham jivaha deha bhavena eva dehatma bhavena eva yadi aham dehaha tada aham samsari. In this way, one should confirm to oneself that one is only the self, mistaking oneself to be a jiva. This, unless we regularly practice, we get dragged by the plurality, dragged by the individuality. So continuing here, Jiva Mukti Upaya. What is the Upaya for Jivan Mukti? Yogabhya savashadena mano nirvishayam kritam nivrittasya puman sadyah jivan mukto bhavishyati. Here the yoga abhyasa, even though the word is used, yoga abhyasa word is used, but here what it should mean is the yoga abhyasa is none other than nididhyasanam, not yoga abhyasa forcefully arresting the mind. It is a dhyatumicha nididhyasa, desire to meditate, desire to enjoy the solitude, desire to remain detached from the world, to recognize. See, anything one wants to learn, one has to find a calm time, a calm, quiet time to concentrate. If you want to learn music, obviously you have to spend time for that and not disturbed by anything else. Uh, if you want to learn anything, if you want to learn art, painting, you have to exclusively spend time on that. While you are doing so many other things, you cannot do that. You want to read some book, you have to find a quiet time. You want to listen to some talk, you have to find separate time quietly. So similarly here, if I want to know myself, how can I know unless I spend time with myself? उसको अलग करना है. So there's a separate activity altogether. That in that solitude alone, one would be able to discard his or her usual contacts with the world, usual engagements in the world, because with those engagements, one will not be able to find exclusively oneself as independent of it. So here, yoga abhyasa vashat, due to that practice of this nididhyasana, yena abhyasena, manaha nirvishayam kritam, mind become devoid of objects. That's why in the Amrita-bindu Upanishad it is said, manasaha nirvishayasya, that state of mind becoming nirvishaya. So that become mokshasya mokshaya arhati. For the become, it becomes deserving for moksha. Bandhaya vishayasaktam moksham nirvishayam smritam. Vishaya asaktihi bandhanam. Then nirvishaya manaha muktaha. So here nirvishayam kritam. Sadhyaha nivrittasya pumsaha. One whose mind has become free from this sense contacts or contacts with the objects of the world, sadhyaha, at once, jivan muktaha bhavishyati, becomes free and while living. Jivan muktaha, at once, sadhyaha. So here, that is the upaya, that is the method. So maya dvarakam jivasya chidatmanah bandham upavarnya sa sadhanam tad jnana dvarakam mokshamaha yoga abhyasa iti. Nirvishayam kritam, meanings alambana shunyam. Alambana shunyam means no more dependence on the objects. So nirvishayam does not mean, okay, throw away everything. First of all, remove my garage. जो भी है garage में निकल जाओ, निकालो उसको. ऐसा नहीं. You have to do it also when you know that they are useless. But dependence, vishaya alambanam tyaja. Remove that dependence on objects. In our that value practice also, I have given last week or 2 weeks back. Every day, one thing you just leave from your routine. One day, say, I'm going to use no iPad today, totally out. Second day, no TV. Third day, no tea or coffee. Fourth day, no cell phone. You may go back to the following day, that is a different thing, but you can become aware and strong. Without that, I can live. And you have to prove to yourself, without that, I can live. I'm not depending on this for my life. This way, we find out which are the things which you think, without those, I cannot live. Find out yourself. And you will realize that you can very well live without those things. They are only mentally occupying, mentally connected, or it is a mere fancy of the mind, thinking that I cannot live without this, I cannot live without that. So, nirvishaya brahmakaram kritam iti. So, therefore, it is said, one can surely remain free from, independent of all the objects, and this practice leads one to have his mind free of all those preoccupations. We think that we have those things for ourselves, and without that there is no happiness, and this is only our conclusion. But reality is that you can be independent of it and be happy, and that is possible, and that is how one should continuously abhyas karna chahiye. Here there is a quote from the Upanishad. Mundaka Upanishad beautifully says that Bhagavan, the Lord, the Ishvara, is within us, resembling the Jiva, or the other way around. Ishvara alone resembles as Jiva, or Jiva resembles Ishvara. Even though two are mentioned, actually it is one, another is a reflection. Dvasuparno cha samyujau abhavan mayaya shivaha ajamekam jushanneko nane vasidi dishrutihi. The example of Dvasuparna. Two birds. Dvasuparna sayuja sakaya samanam vriksham parishasvachate tayoranya pippalam swadu atti janashnan anyo apichakashiti. Dvasuparna, two birds. Sayuja sakaya, together they are friends as though. Samanam vriksham parishasvajate, they are staying in the same branch of a tree. Tayoranya pippalam swadu atti, among them one is enjoying the fruits of the tree. Anashnan anyaha, not eating the other one, parichakashiti, it is just watching. So the one which is engaged in the world is Jiva, the one who is not is the Ishvara. So these two are in the same place. And that is being quoted here, saying that such a person, one who is able to recognize that the Ishvara, one who is witnessing, is not participating in all the engagements of the Jiva, is not an independent entity, but the higher nature of oneself. While the fruit, some of them may be very tasty, some of them may be very bitter. When it is tasty, he turns around to that other one which is not eating. Hey, you are not enjoying this. This is really good. He smiles. The next one, oh, bitter. Oh my God. Again, that fellow smiles. Where is smiling? Nothing. You are enjoying that. No, it's so bitter. If there are tasty fruits, there will be bitter fruits also. You cannot avoid that. You do not know which one it would be. By looking at it, you will not know. Only when you start eating, you will know this. In the same way, bird will have both joy and sorrow and all the pairs of opposites. And if you want one, the other one also will be there. Both sides of the same coin. You cannot have one and not have the other. So what should I do? Leave it and be quiet. Like me. So, knowing the nature of this world is the pairs of opposites. Dvandva samuha it is. So, dva suparno cha sayujau, they are together as a friend. Abhavan mayaya shivaha. Shivaha mayaya abhavan. Abhavat. Bhagavan, with Shiva alone, due to Maya, he appears to be two. This example is given Jiva Ishwaryoho Mayika Beda Anuvadinyo Rucho Udaharati Dvasoparna iti. One more example that is given is Ajamekam Jushanneko Nane Vasi Didi Shrutihi. This is also given there where I have not come across this, which I think Shvetashvara Upanishad has given. Maybe it was there. I don't recall it. The word Ajaha means a she goat. Ajaha means a goat, basically. Ajam ekam lohita shukla krishnam bahuvihi prajaha janayantim sarupaha. The she goat and the he goat together, they have given birth to three different colored young ones. One is white, another black, another is red in color. Lohita Shukla Krishnam, dark, white, and Lohita red, Shukla white, and then Krishnam black. Bahuvihi Prajaha Janayan Team Sarupaha, similar looking. Ajo hi eko Jushamanaha Ashnute Jushamano Nushate Janamano Nushate. So Jahati Enam Bhukta Bhogam Ajonyaha. So after having come to be with that particular she goat, after some time, the one goat just walks away. Walks away means what? Acha, aapko mila hai na? Oh, your children? No, I'm going. So the animals are very detached. Not we are also not. We are only not. Many of the animals, after having given birth to children, they just, okay, chalo, ab chalo. Whatever you want to do, you do. And we are going on our way. They are not very, oh, what happened to my school? And then the grandchildren, and then the great-grandchildren. Nothing like that. Even as the children started ready to jump, chalo, it is up to you. I do not know which forest you will go to. You go wherever you want. They are so detached. So, in this way, they do not anymore Nana eva asid iti shrutihi. In the same way, everything appears to be many there. So this way, manyness is only in perception, not real. And this very Ishvaraha appears to be a jiva due to the Maya, and one who is able to recognize that in his seat of contemplation and meditation, one will become free of it. Iti Sri Dakshinamoorty Stotra Artha Pradipatake Prabande Manasollasa Ashtamo Ullasa Sangraha. That's the 8th verse which had explained Jiva eva Ishvaraha iti. Now, the beginning of the 9th Stotram here, how that one can come out of this Maya, what are the methods of it? Katham, okay, we'll read that first verse after 9th, for the 9th verse here, for 9th mantra, or not mantra, Stotram, 9th introduction. Kadamevam vida Maya Nivarteteti Pruchataha Ishwarupasana Rupaha Tadupaya Prakirtayate. Upasana is a means to keep our mind in one altar of dedication. The wandering mind must be, first of all, controlled and kept in one place for further deliberation, contemplation, etc., if the mind itself is not available, what else, what you can do? The mind that has been causing the problem must be controlled, contained, quietened, made available, and upasana plays a crucial role there. Not all of them will take to upasana. Some people will say, I will do yoga abhyasa. Some people will say pranayama. All said and done, yena kena prakarena, whatever be the method you use, mana atmani nivedayet. Mind should be offered to the self. Atmani nivedanam, offering to the self. But the mind must be available first of all. Morning till evening when we are working, our mind is so busy, and at the end of it, it gets tired. And by the time you sit for contemplation, you are already sleeping. So that is why upasanas are prescribed to be done in the morning when you have taken enough rest, and before you begin the day, you start the upasana. So katam evam vida maya, this, how this maya which is constantly keeping us busy with the world, nivartete, how the maya can be, is removed, iti pruchataha, shishyaha, one who is a disciple would ask this question, how do we remove this maya which is so powerfully keeping us under control? So the Guru, out of compassion, Ishvara upasana rupaha tat upayaha prakirtyate, is now extolling, describing the method of upasana also. So one cannot say, oh, I am doing Vedanta Shravanam Mananam Ityadi, so I don't need upasana. Truly speaking, you need that as well. Upasana is necessary. Because study, no doubt, gives us knowledge or listening. But then do we have true love for that Paramatma, the Self? Unless one spends time adoring, worshipping, admiring, reverentially surrendering to that very Self, which is in the form of one's own chosen deity, here Dakshinamoorty. Unless one recognizes that greatness of that Ishvara, loving, reverentially adoring, one would not have a sustained inspiration to recognize and realize. So upasana becomes an important ingredient or requirement for a sadhaka. One should not overlook this. So, aduna yadoktam ishvara tattva jnana sadhana vidanaya uttara shlokaha sati tat prasangam ityaha prasangadim aha. So that how that upasana will help an individual to proceed further with devotion to that self. What is this Ishvara upasana here? Now you see here, Shatrimshat Tattva Rupasu Parameshvara Murtishu Pratyakshenoupalabhyante Sarvairapyashtamurtayah. According to Shaiva Agamas, Shaiva Siddhanta, there are 36 aspects of Shiva is explained. We will see that after this verse, then the explanation it comes. What are the 36? In these 36 aspects, Shat Trimshat, meaning 36, Tattva Rupasu, having these 36 aspects in that, Parameshvara Murtishu, in the form of the Parameshvara, the Lord, Sarvaihi, for everyone, api Ashtamurtayaha, the 8 aspect of them, Pratyakshena upalabhyante. They are available directly. Out of these 36 aspects of Parameshwaraha, 8 of them are directly available to us. This is been directly available in the sense that is for our perception, they are easily comprehensible, but not all of them. Again, explanation will be given in detail there. It is said that what are those 8 of them? Jalam Vaknistata Yashta Suryas Tata Akasham Vayuravani Murtayoshtam Pinakina Murtayoshtan Pinakinaha Pinakinaha Ashtan Murtyashtan Murtyashtan, yeah, Ashtan Murti. These 8 parts of the 8 aspects are, as it is said, available easily. What are those? Jalam, water. Vahni, fire. Tata, Yashta, the worshipper or the Yajnakarta. Suryaha, sun. Chandramasa, which is Chandrama, that is moon. Tata, Akasham, the space. Vayuhu, air. Avani, earth. Then these are all the 8 of them. That is water, fire, Yajnakarta, the individual performer, sun, moon, space, air, earth. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan differently puts it. Ashtamurti Brut Deva Pujanam is said by Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also. But in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna has said there are 8 aspects of it which are called lower Prakriti. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara idiyame binna prakriti ashtata. There he said 5 elements. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kam, then manaha buddhi ahankar, 5 plus 3. Those 8 are explained by Bhagavan Krishna in Gita as my lower Prakriti, and then higher Prakriti is Jiva. In Upadeshasara, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi calls it as Ashtamurti Brut Deva Pujanam. He refers to this Ashtamurti. That is 5 elements, no doubt. Then along with that, Surya and Chandra and the individual who is engaging in the Upasana. Those 3 added to become 8. These are all directly perceivable or experienceable. So now, these 36 aspects are not easily for an individual to recognize, but even these 8 of them, one has to pay attention. So therefore, he says, Ayam ameya sumana kshipram arodum narhati tyataha murtyashtakamayim brute guru sarvatma bhavanam. Manaha ayam na kshipram arohati, or manaha kshipram na arodum arhati. So ameyasu. So this mind is not easy to understand this principles which are ameya. Meya means measurable. Ameya means immeasurable, because it is unlimited, endless. Ameyasu manaha kshipram arodum na arhati. Kshipram, quickly. Arodum, to understand. Arod literally means to climb over, to understand, to comprehend. Na arhati, not capable. Iti, therefore, ataha, therefore. Guruhu, here Shankaracharya, Sarvatma Bhavanam Murti Ashtakamayim Brute. So the Guru here, Shankaracharya, speaks about how to recognize that eightfold nature of the Lord, who is none other than Sarvatma Bhavanam. Murti Ashtakamayim Sarvatma Bhavanam. That very eightfold nature of the Lord himself is the self of all beings. So when you say earth, what do you remember? What you can think of? Earth. So, okay, earth means the one which goes around the sun, that is earth. No. All planets are earth only. Earth does not mean Bhumi, okay? Earth means all earthly elements. Even in Mars there is earth. So when we call earth, it is not only this world. Even what is there in the, where do you land when the rocket or the sun, there is something that goes there up in the sky, penetrating through the atmosphere, going into the cosmos, and then lands in, let us say, Mars land. That land is again earth only. So earth does not mean only this globe. Earth means all earth elements. So can you comprehend how big it is? If you go to distant stars also, you go to Uranus or Neptune, or you go to Pluto, whatever, not Pluto, yeah, so many are there. There also, earth is there. So how big is it? And this, only we are looking at this galaxy. Now, what about other galaxies? Millions and trillions of galaxies are there. What about them? There also earth is there. Then, and some no water. We think we have only water, but somehow they are finding out there was water in Mars also. We do not know, in other planets we could not reach it. Probably there is water. Other galaxies may have water. Where do we conclude only here is water? Even this water we cannot comprehend how big it is. So water, air, fire, space, all these are all Ameya. Surya, again, we know only this local Surya. There's so many suns are there, millions of suns are there. Every galaxy has got 1 or 1,000 suns. Then, and the moons also. There's only one moon, we say. Some planets have many moons. Not unartificially created satellites they are. They are not artificially created satellites. They are also going round. So it is impossible to comprehend the eightfold form of Shiva. So the Guru, who here Shankaracharya, is now giving us upasana how to recognize this eightfold nature of the Lord within oneself. Let us start from the Vyashti and then go to Samashti. That's why Sri Ramana Maharshi said, but let us forget about Brahman for a while. Atma ko jano. Why do you all worry about the world and God? Let us just leave it aside. God, just leave it aside. For a while, just leave it. Don't worry about it. Now, first of all, find out who you are. मैं कौन हूं उसको पहले जान लो. पहले you understand who you are. Now you realize that when you know yourself as Atman, independent of all inert matter, bas, ho gaya kaam. Done, you're free. Now you will realize that very Atman itself is Brahman. You don't need to go and look for Brahman anymore. Swatma darshanam, Isha darshanam, Swatma rupata. You will realize that Atman itself is Ishvara. So now Vyashti, that which is the individual, here in this, let us do the Upasana. So now in this 9th verse, Bhurambasya nalo nilo Ambaramaharnato himamshu puman Ityavadi characharatmakamidam Yasyaiva murtyashtakam Nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrushatam Yasmat parasmat vibhoho Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Bhurambasya nalo nilombaramaharnato himamshu puman Ityabadi characharatmakamidam Yasyaiva murtyashtakam Nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrushatam Yasmat parasmat vibhoho Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Again, the last line remaining the same. Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Now, this Ashtamurti, Murti Ashtakam, and what is this? That is there in the second line last. Yasya eva Murti Ashtakam. Yasya Ishwarasya eva Ashtakam, Murti Ashtakam. And what are these 8? That is as explained in the other verse as we saw. Bhuhu, earth. Ambamsi, water. Analaha, fire. Anilaha, vayu, air. Ambara, ambaram, space. Aharnataha, God or the king of the day, sun. Himamshuhu, one who has cool rays, moon. Puman, Purushaha, individual jiva. These are the 8. Bhuhu, Ambamsi, Analaha, Anilaha, Ambaram, Aharnataha, Himamshuhu, Puman. Iti chara acharatmakimidam abhati, one who is appearing as both moving and unmoving. See, earth doesn't move. In general, earth doesn't move. Water moves. So here, chara achara does not mean moving and unmoving literally. Those which are inert and sentient. It should be understood that way also. Or if you just want to say moving and unmoving, that is also okay. And because the world consists of both inert and the chetana. Usually that which jadam doesn't move by itself. And which is chetana keeps moving, cannot stop at all. Mobile phone makes you keep moving constantly. Why are you going round? Because I have a mobile phone. So, yeah. Chara acharatmakam, of the nature of both inert and sentient. Idam yasya eva, one whose ashtakam murti ashtakam, 8-fold. Vimrshadam yasmat vibhoho parasmat na anyat kinchana vidyate. For those who are meditators of this reality, Vimrshatam, Yasmat Vibhoho Parasmat. Than this Vibhuhu, than this Lord, beyond that, na anyat kinchana vidyate. Nothing else is there. For those who are really having the right understanding, they know that other than this eightfold Lord, there is nothing else there. To that one who has the eightfold form, Tasmai Sri Guru Murte Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurti. So Upasana here. So here the further explanation is given that Ayamartaha Upasakaha. So here we see Bruhu Prithvi Ambamsi Jalani Analaha Agnihi Anilaha Vayuhu Ambaram Akashaha Aharnadaha Suryaha Imamshu Chandraha Puman Sakala Karma Vidya Adhikari Jivaha. Puman is Sakala Vidya Adhikari, Karma Vidya Adhikari. Iti evam prakarena Parameshwarasya Sarvajnasya Sarvashaktehe Satchidananda Advayasya Sadashivasya Eva Murtyashtakam. Of that eightfold form belong to that Lord only. Murtinam Vigrahabhutanam Ashtakam Abhati. In the eightfold form, he appears in this world. Asamantat iti abhati. Bhati abhati. Ayamartaha Upasakaha Swadehe Vartamana Prapanchabhutani Vyashtibhutani Samashtibhutaihi Prana Apanaucha Surya Sashanka Abhyam Ekikritya. Now, how this eightfold form of the Lord, which constitute the entire world, which is called Samashti Loka. Samashti means entirety of the world. Vyashti means individual. Now, how this eightfold form, which makes the entire universe, I cannot meditate upon that. How will I meditate upon sun? I can't even see it. Dekh sakte ho? Your eyes will go blind if you try to see him. So this very interesting here. This Chandrama and Surya and Chandra, they are to be meditated by the individual as in his own body, prana apana. So what you inhale, Surya. What you exhale is Chandrama. Air that is coming in, so that is what is here. Prana apanaucha Surya Shashanga Abhyam Ekikritya. You may remember in 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Prana apano samakritya pachamyannam chaturbitam. Right? So there also Bhagavan indicates that I digest the food making prana apana together samikritya, samanam krutva, pachamyannam chaturvidam. I digest the food by equalizing prana and apana. He indicates many things like that. When we dig deep only, we'll understand he is talking what upasana that is. So the upasaka, as he is unable, is not capable, or it is not possible for him to even recognize the Surya and Chandra in its own glory. He knows that very Surya and Chandra is operating as prana and apana in my body. This is how Samashti Bhutani, Ashtamurti, is brought to the individual's body. Even when you are doing a Shiva Puja, you have to do Nyasa. In that, you are invoking the powers of the Lord Shiva into your body. Karanyasa it's called. You will bring the aspects and powers of the Lord, worship whatever by the Lord you are worshipping. You bring in the power to recognize in your body. So here, प्राणापानौ च सूर्यशशाङ्काभ्याम् एकीकृत्य पञ्चभूतात्मक शरीर अभिमानिनं स्व आत्मानमष्टमूर्तिं परमेश्वरेण एकीकृत्य सकलव्यापी अष्टमूर्ति आत्मकः सदाशिवः अस्मि इति चिन्तयेत्. अहमेव अष्टमूर्तिभृत् परमात्मा अहमेव अस्मि इति चिन्तयेत्. That very Lord who is of the eightfold form is none other than my own self, my own being. For our body also consists of the five. Correct? Earth is there. The whole body is earth. Shape of the body is water. Breathing is going on. Or air is there within and without. Heat is there, fire. We unnecessarily occupy a lot of space also. So all the five elements are there. Then Jiva is the Purusha. Then Surya Chandra as Pranapana. So these 8 Murtis are in me. This is Ishvara. Iti Chintaye. Tataha Bhavana Adishayena Tat Sayujyam Prapya. By this very reverential attitude, having gained the union with the Lord, Sarva Aishwarya Sampannaha Ante Tat Prasada Prasadasādita Tattvajñānena Tat Sakshatkarena Vimuchyate iti. So, having this reverential attitude towards the Lord, who himself is present in the form of eightfold Prakriti outside, eightfold form outside, is the same one who is present in me as me. And by his grace, by holding that thought that Ahameva Ishvara Rupaha, in this way, when he does the Upasana, ultimately he gains liberation. For having united with the Lord, there is nothing more needs to be done. So, for those people who are thinkers in this kind, Vimrshadam Tadvam Vidivat Guru Shrutibhyo Uktya Janishe Janisham Vicharavatam Purushanam Parasmat Sarvakaranat Vibhoho Vivida Prapanchatmana Bhavataha Vivartamanat Yasmat Sarva Adishtanat Satchidananda Atmakat Parameshwarat Anyat Pradak Kinchana Kinchidabi Navidyate Nabhavati. For those people who are able to contemplate in this way, come to recognize that other than the Lord, there is nothing else there in this world. For he himself has become the entire universe, as well as the individual beings who are representing those Ashtamurti only. In their body, the 5 elements, Purusha, the Jiva, is himself, as well as the Prana, Apana, as the Chandra, Surya. In that way, he himself is everything. Other than that, there is nothing else. In this way, they come to understand that. So, Nanyat Kinchana Vidyate Vimrchatam Yasmat Parasmat Vibhoho Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namagidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. So, we'll see more of it in the next session. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.